Yeah, Shelly Terry. Hey.
Well, first of all, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
First, like one, I'm so mad. Check out my bun.
I know.
It's ridiculous. Luckily, the star of the show is going to be great either way. And what I was telling my boss, like, because I'm so non-linear with like if you give me a microphone and a captive audience, I say this all the time to groups, and I'm not even playing. Like, I hope you get something out of this, but if you don't, I'm gonna think I did an amazing job, and not because, like, like I'm self-aware, and I can see people like if like they're like kind of veering off or whatever. So it's not like I'm obtuse. It's just my narcissism overrides the need to like whatever. So I was like, I've been amped up like for. I'm like,
Don't even worry about it, because I'm like, when I first proposed this, I was like, and they said, yep. I was like, y'all gonna let me get on the screen and pretty much do what I want to? Let's do it. I was like, let's go.
So one, how many people are normally on this? And then kind of what's happened in the past, like for the last two people?
We're usually at about 30 people.
Okay.
It's usually around 30 people. I wish the whole union would join, but people got other stuff to do. But I'm just like, if you give me an hour to sit and watch somebody and have fun, and you still gonna pay me, I'll be there. So I can move this other meeting. So no, so what just happens is they'll submit questions. I'll read the questions. You'll answer them. We'll talk, and that's it. You might get some questions about trademark and licensing. You might get questions about your life.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'll be prepared either way because, like I said, one of the things so when I do interviews, and I'll probably repeat this, but it is the truth, is one of the things that makes me good about my job is that people like me. When they're like, what makes you different from whatever? And I know that sounds dumb because it's like, what is that? And the thing is, I'm a likable person, but also like when you're telling people no all the time, and like sending people's relatives letters and things to stop producing things that whatever, it helps if people like you because it gets rough at these streets.
Baby, those t-shirts y'all got and wearing them across this campus, my black students with the NC with the Ken Take Off, which was super cute. And if they had an extra one, I'd be like, let me get that.
Like when I tell you, like one story, I'll tell you real quick. It happened before I started at OU, and I almost jumped across the table and mauled my supervisor when she told me. But Louis Vuitton, like the Louis Vuitton store in Dallas, apparently somebody had commissioned. Like, how they can paint on whatever. And so somebody had gotten some luggage or some handbags or whatever, but they had OU put on it, like the OU logos, and somewhere along the line somebody said, hey, we should check with OU, and she was like, yeah, no, she was like, and I just had them destroy it, because when things, it can either be destroyed or you can have them send it to you for you to like dispose of it appropriately. And I was like, what? I was like, do you think that they
no, see, I'd have been like, you need to send that to me because I need to make sure this is properly disposed of.
Yeah. Like, I don't
in my closet. In my closet.
Please, I think into an artist and have somebody bedazzle the top of it. Well, not bedazzle, but I said, oh, but yeah, no, licensing will ruin your life. You almost have to just go on trips and just be like, I can't deal with this right now. You just have to let it go. And even when we're not on the Zoom call, I'll tell you about one of my relatives that I'm just like, I was like, you can't come to my job if you're wearing that because it's in a direct violation of their business. I was just like,
okay, so we have M.R. Terry.
Yes.
We have Shelly Terry, Brandon Terry.
That's my twin.
Dr. Barbara Jones.
Yes.
And Jessica Van.
That's my bestie.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, tell them. I tell people, you need to stay camera ready because I might turn yours on. Stay camera ready.
Speaking of, make sure that you put my dad on mute. Like he's just like to look at him, he presents as Negroid, but he's fair skinned. So just like if you see like,
well,
probably it'll be his chin anyway.
well, because it's a webinar, really it's just going to be me. I can turn on other people's cameras.
I got
so
you.
they come in automatically off and muted. They can type in their question. But which one? It's MR Terry, that's your daddy?
Yes.
He might be making an appearance.
Okay.
They need to be camera ready.
Oh my gosh, hold on. Let me set up this.
So yeah, and my coworker Drew, you'll see his screen too, because he's also listed as a host. He helps me feel through the questions, like after we get through it, he like clears them off and things, because sometimes I get to talking and don't pay attention to this over here. So there's Drew.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Drew.
How are you, Drew?
Hi, Shelly. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you. Now, tell me who the first two people were that came out, and then I'm going to ask you another question, Drew. But who were the first two people so I can do better than them?
The first one was Bubba Cunningham.
Dang it.
And then
You got it.
And then, well, I will say this: when we were asking people who they'd like to see, your name came up more than once. And then the second one was Becky Mangini from HR.
Yes. I was like, why does that name sound familiar? Yeah. Okay, that's her. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Only the big stars. Only the big stars.
I'm always competitive about stuff that doesn't matter.
Well, I had to, for my first one, I had to get people hooked, so I had to pull out my friend connection and get old Bubba on here.
No, I'm not mad. I definitely would have pulled him in first if I could have.
I got to pull out my ultimate friend card and see if I can get one of the basketball coaches on. Go ahead.
No,
I kind of want Coach Rob because he's my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, and he used to be the head coach at the University of Tulsa, where I'm from, Tulsa. And so so that's how I loved him even before coming out here, just because.
Rob.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and broadcast this because some people may be trying to come in, but we can continue to talk.
And Shelly, I am Keith's assistant, a sort of silent assistant.
Okay.
He's leading the show. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to help him if there are any technical glitches and manage questions and that sort of thing. So I'm not going to talk too much. Keith will be leading the way.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to know you, Drew.
Yeah. It's we've been on a few emails together, but I haven't met you. Well, this isn't in person, but haven't met you in person.
You haven't seen the pizzazz and the show and up close and personal. Understood.
Right.
Yeah. Like I've been telling Keith, like my bun is like it goes from like I'm like, what is whatever. I did a trial run so my friends could check it out, and they were like, "You with those fake books?" I'm like, number one and point B, I'm the daughter of a librarian, so you get your life together. No, these are not real books, but I am a voracious reader.
All right, so we're gonna have people. They're gonna start coming in. Oh, they're coming in. So
there's
Drew,
going to be a deluge because everyone's so excited to talk to the licensing person. Yes.
Listen, you might get some. Why did you say no when I asked you? Could I use this?
I'm telling you. I usually wait. I've heard of your department, and I just sit back and wait because it's gonna go south.
No, what you should do is let someone else bring up just your department in general, and then sit back and wait, and then be like, "Oh, yeah, that's Shelly's department." Drew, you been crazy busy today?
It's been a little crazy, just getting that website all organized and things here and there, and then they're gonna postpone school on us, I hear. So.
Is that what they're talking?
Yep. For Orange County already did, and Chapel Hill schools are probably going to. So. Postpone in-person instruction.
Yeah, that's what my sister said. Their principal just talked to them. They're looking at least 5 weeks of virtual and then reassessing. So I don't know.
Yeah. We heard 9, but who knows? We'll find tonight. And we had a plan, and it's back to the drawing board. So that's just how this year's going to go. I mean,
yeah. My week's been crazy. We had employee forum retreat 2 days. So that was like
okay.
3 hours of Zoom for one meeting, 2 days.
Yeah.
My friend Jessica just popped
in. Jessica's first one in, and I hope.
Yeah, no, she's on it. She just got her master's degree, and she had to defend her thesis on Zoom. So she was on it. She was like, right. "Where's my camera? Let's do this." That is not how she talks.
Well, congratulations.
Way to go, Jessica.
Jessica, yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. Jessica, I hope you camera ready, because I might turn yours on. Folks, you better be camera ready.
She's about the only one that I have confidence in that won't fail me. Yeah.
Oh, well, Twin needs to be camera ready.
Oh my gosh. I just got my parents a camera stand or a tablet stand, because there was a lot of like this, like this. And it was just like, what you see is what we see. And it's the ceiling, whatever, sky's the limit. Yeah.
So, all right, well, we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be good. The other two have been good, and it's just me and Drew just sort of doing our thing as it comes out. Hey, we're gonna make it work. Hi, Benita. All right, while we wait, I'll go back to my ladies of the 80s.
That's the name of the playlist?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I hope Benita can see that. Yeah, she saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could have just said it, Drew. She'd have heard you.
Oh, right. Hey, Benita.
What are you drinking, Drew?
I have got the Polar Seltzer, pomegranate flavored. I guess you can't see that so well.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
Yeah, I've developed a big dependency on seltzer during this pandemic. It's been my go-to drink.
Listen, I have gained all of the 19 that came with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I got all the 19 and maybe a little bit extra. So, just so everyone knows, and I'm going to say it right here on Zoom so you all hear me. When we get back in the office, you will see repeat outfits from me because we got to go with what fits. Right? Things will be repeating.
I mean, I've been stuck at home with goldfish, granola bars, those Ritz peanut butter minis. It's been, you can't not eat that stuff.
I mean, I ate salads for like a week, and then it was like, what do I
Yeah,
want?
I did too. I started real healthy.
You were like, my life will change.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to give some people a little more time to get in here. Because, you know, everybody's got a busy schedule. All right, everybody gets half of Taylor Dane, and then we're going to go with what we have. Well, I kind of like the song, so we might give him the whole, song. Oh, you know what?
Is there a waiting room?
No, there's no waiting room. They can come in.
Are you chuckling at our first question? Yeah,
I am.
The question didn't occur to me, but I'm wondering the same thing. Now that
Like, it's a struggle for me.
I mean, I'm in my Gray Hanes t-shirt here.
Well, I did right before I got on here, put on a shirt because I had on blue, and I sort of blended in with the back. So I was like, okay, I need something.
It was like a floating hand.
Like me to make me stand out a little bit. But yeah, it was.
No, and then there's always the consideration: am I just doing top up, or am I doing like a whole outfit? Like, is there a reason?
I am straight doing top up, and only the top 2 buttons are buttoned. But you know, that's how we're living right now. I'm sorry. That's just where life is right now for me. You know, don't judge me.
I am not judging.
Points for honesty.
That is
Yeah. That is what happens when for 18 weeks, all you've worn is sweats and t-shirts, and your body has expanded, and you're just like, just button top 2 buttons, you know, just go ahead.
It's just good to go.
Okay. I got to get back to walking my 4 miles a day. It's just been 90 degrees, and I can't do it, so.
Well, it's not 90 degrees all day, though.
Yeah, but I'm not getting up early to do it. And so I do it after work at 5 o'clock, and it's 90 degrees.
It was 90 then, yeah.
And if I have to wait an hour after work for it to go, never mind, we'll try it tomorrow. And then tomorrow turns into the same thing. All right, we are up to 16 people. Okay, Taylor Dane, we're going to turn it off, and we are going to start. All right, hello, everyone. Look, Mama came in. You better come through, Mama. You better come through. Hello everybody. Welcome to our 3rd edition of Ask Me Anything. This week we have Shelly Terry out of the Office of, is it Trademark and Licensing or Licensing and Trademark? Trademark and license.
Office of Trademarks and Licensing. Mm-hmm.
All right. And so we're doing things a little bit different because we have Shelly's mother here with us. And so we're going to do it differently. And that's okay because that's our business. So.
It's Tabitha Brown.
Okay. I love Tabitha Brown.
She's
So we're going to jump right into our questions. Also joining us is Shelly's twin brother, Brandon, and her best friend, Jessica. And I think her dad may be coming at some point. And one other person, I think.
Yeah, the dean of business of my business school when I was in college. So one of my mentors, Dr. Barbara Jones.
So they may be joining. And to all of our guests, I'm just going to tell you, like I told Shelly, stay camera ready because I may turn yours on. So we're going to jump in with our first question, and it's from Wayne Otis. And Wayne says, how does Shelly look so refreshed during COVID-19?
That's right, because I've been staying quarantined, so I've been staying away from all of you. I've been, the only germs or things that I have, they're just things that I brought to the table. So but honestly, I've been getting on my yoga app every day. Well, doing the free option. There is a paid part of that I know nothing about. That's not my ministry. But I've been getting on the Asana Rebel yoga app every morning and doing that. And then also making sure, like you, Keith, to go outside and one, see the sun, and then make sure that I'm doing some sort of exercise daily, and then just staying connected with loved ones. But also, it doesn't hurt. Sometimes you just got to put on a little fit, get in front of a nice background, and it gives you a little pizzazz. So thank you so much. And excuse the bun as it goes in and out. Either way, it's a good look, but yeah, it's not consistent.
Magic bun.
So earlier let's just start with a little background. So I shared with Drew and I shared with them your bio. Can't promise they read it, but
I'm sure
they may have.
Or they might be now, probably right now.
And I mean, it all works for us. We're easygoing. So give us a little background. I mean, sure. I know where you're from.
Yes.
And a little bit about you, but.
Yes, so I am a product of Tulsa, Oklahoma, born and raised a pride of the Great Southwest. I attended the Booker T. Washington High School, and from there went on to Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University in Huntsville, Alabama, where I played basketball, majored in marketing, minored in visual merchandising till I dropped it, but dabbled a little bit, and also was very active in the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, which for those that are unfamiliar with that, it's basically like SGA, but for student athletes. And so I was the vice president and the president, so I was like a regular Norma Ray on campus, softball says that their socks are not, I was everything. The administration, they're like, she's back. So that was kind of my first introduction to sports administration, which has kind of been my trajectory ever since. So I wound up going to grad school at the University of Central Florida, where I obtained an MBA and a Master's of Sport Business Management, and worked and I was a professional volunteer / side hustler. So I worked for the Orlando Magic. I was a merchantainer, which is a made-up word, which really just means person that dispenses magic at Disney through retail sales. And from Magic, I did the Great Outdoor Games, so I was helping with log rolls, Mountain Dew, X-Yay, just everything that's gonna allow you to get sunburned, I was doing it. Then I went on to work at the NFL Players Association. From there, worked at the NCAA, and continued on to Oklahoma State, and then the University of Oklahoma, and then here. So yeah, that was kind of like my arc. So I've lived on half of the country.
With no signs of slowing down whatsoever.
Let's go.
So back to Tulsa. So
right.
if someone were going to visit Tulsa, say I were going to visit Tulsa, what are 3 things that you would say I would need to see or do?
Only 3? And this is
I don't know. It's Tulsa, so I don't know if there's more than 3 things to do in Tulsa. Like,
see. You're about to what is it? Stoke the bear, because my brother, like, this is like his area. We both are brand ambassadors for the city. So one, if anyone's heard of the Gap Band or Charlie Wilson or Uncle Charlie, you're welcome. Greenwood Archer Pine is what Gap stands for. It's an acronym. The Gap Band won't be there in Tulsa, but those streets are there, and you could reminisce and maybe put on your iTunes. Also, Black Wall Street, for those who maybe have seen The Watchmen. At the very beginning, I actually still have yet to see The Watchmen, so I can't speak specifically about this, but at the very beginning, it should have a scene that's kind of dedicated to the race massacre. So that's not necessarily a proud part of our history, but there were many, many blocks of business owners and Black people who were out doing entrepreneurial things, and a really large, like, thriving Black community that was in Tulsa that was the Black Wall Street. So that was there. And so there are some vestiges, and there's some memorials and things that you can go check out if you're a history buff. Also, if you're into Art Deco, there's quite a bit throughout the city that people come through. Route 66 also comes through. Hanson is from Tulsa, so sometimes people go and harass members of their family, I'm sure.
You mean, sorry to interrupt, Mbop Hanson?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
The name of their first album, Middle of Nowhere, was a little disrespectful, but but there's that. So I would say those are just a few. I'm sure I'm leaving off some that Brandon, you or Jessica can pop some up in the chat, but those are the ones.
Brandon can talk. If he wants to unmute, if he has something to say about Tulsa, he can jump right in.
Not to put you on the spot, Brandon.
Yeah, but we're working really hard. I don't know if y'all remember, like, I think it was last year where they were offering, I think, $10,000 for people to move to Tulsa, like people in the tech industry, I believe. But we recognize, or at least city officials did, that we need to do a little bit more. Like, people like to live in Tulsa if they're like if they have an established family, but maybe we were losing some of the younger professionals. So they've been working on it, trying to, like, boost it up. Ooh, and then what's the one, Jesse or Brandon, that just got built, the really big park and multi-use facility? It's gotten national and I think international awards, but I'm blanking on it. The Gathering Place, I'm sorry. So that's also another thing that if you're coming through, please check it out. So yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like basically you just said, Keith, you've been sleeping on Tulsa. Don't play games. Okay, I got it. Okay. I get you. I feel it. We're gonna go on to the next question because I don't want everyone in Tulsa coming after me.
Right.
Because I asked for just 3 things in Tulsa because I didn't. Okay.
Now you have a strong 20.
All right. So from Damu, who you know.
Oh, and barbecue. Sorry, barbecue. Yep. Come for that.
Okay, I need you to stop because you're talking to North Carolinians about barbecue.
But y'all are all confused, and that's okay. But when you have time and you want to right a wrong that has been committed upon y'all for many years, y'all come on down. We're also known for barbecue bologna, which a delicacy. So yeah, but yes, barbecue with a tomato-based sauce.
I mean, you're casting shade on our barbecue and then talking about barbecue bologna. Well, yeah, you got 2 North Carolina natives here.
Well, I am from the western part of North Carolina. Yeah. So our sauce is red based anyway, so it's not the vinegar based. It's okay. So okay, I'm gonna let you have that one. I'm gonna let you have it. But
as I alienate the whole.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see when I get to Tulsa.
And I'm actually with Damu there in the comments. He said all barbecue is good. That's actually my secret. I engage in the argument for the argument's sake, but He's right. All barbecue is good.
And Wayne has said that we need to forgive you, for you know not what you have done. So, oh,
I'm learning.
all right. Yeah, we're gonna learn you up, as my sister says. We're gonna learn you up. So Damu asked, you know Damu out of
Yes, I do.
CCS.
Mhm.
What's your favorite memory from playing college sports?
My favorite one, some of them were like I have masochistic tendencies, so some of them were actually not really great stories. But I think one of the ones I can actually share is anyone that knows me, I'm pretty soft core. Like, you know, I mean, like I don't run from you know, disagreements or different things like that. But like generally speaking, I'm pretty pleasant, bubbly, whatever. But my job, I was for those that are up on basketball, I was a 4-5, and so I was down in the post a lot. And you know, like a lot of times you're tasked with being an enforcer or different things of that nature. And so I would always have to kind of go to a place if some people are familiar with Sasha Fierce. Beyonce's alter ego. So I didn't have a name for mine, but in essence, I would kind of go to a different place. And I also played with pigtails, fun fact, and soccer socks. So just, it was a lot going on anyway. And so I would just kind of go into this other character, and I would always be so excited when I would meet one of our competitors somewhere off the court, and they'd be like, "I was so scared of you." I'm like, thank you so much. You know, I had to draw an inspiration for that character. So there were a lot of good moments with my teams and traveling and trying to make things work. But by and large, I think that was probably my favorite. You know what? This is a story that amuses me. You can see if it does for y'all. But one of my favorite memories, though, was we had decided to have an auction for we were raising money for SAC, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and we were going to have an auction where, you know, you come out and like you're going to date, different things like that. But across campus, they were actually doing a slave auction reenactment, and so so people came to us and they were like they were about to start protesting our event, and we were like, well, we can just change the name if that's going to be a problem. So like there was a little bit there, but I just enjoyed the fact that the leader of the protester, she was like, hey, she was super sweet. She was like, hey, would it be okay if I could just maybe get on the mic before y'all get started? And I was like, that will actually not be okay. But I was like, we're gonna go ahead and work on the moniker. Like we hear what you say, we wanna get that modified so that there's no confusion about what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to help people find love. So that was an interesting but a very enjoyable time.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kevin, who also works in our office, have you ever gotten any strange or bizarre branding or partnership requests?
All the time, yeah. We've had people who want to do toilet seat covers. You can understand why that would be problematic. We have all sorts of things that are understandable, and we do license some memorial products, but there are a lot of things as it relates to people who have gone on to glory that they have in their final will that they'd like to have incorporated into all of the things that go on with that. So that we've had to sometimes we've allowed sometimes we have to politely decline. But yeah, I think the toilet seat covers, what do you call them? What are body parts that when you need limbs to be
prosthetics?
Thank you, prosthetics. There's all sorts, and a lot of times you get samples with these things too, and you don't always know the context when you're pulling them out of the box. So you're just like, well, wait, what's actually happening here? So, yeah. But no, a lot of really interesting ideas do come through.
Oh, my first interaction with you, I don't even know if you know, it was when I was at the business school. Someone called and asked, can they put one of the logos on a tombstone. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I finally reached your office, and you all were like, and I explained who it was, and apparently they had given money. And you're like, yeah, that's fine. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, and actually, there's quite even more than products that come through, I would say would be artwork. A lot of people on campus, I mean, our students, we love them because of their creativity, and we've had anthropomorphic rams come through doing all sorts of inappropriate behaviors, from twerking to, it's not even a joke, to just very compromising positions that we've had to politely decline.
Okay. Ramses.
Yeah.
Putting in work. So as a student athlete, what was the most valuable lesson that you learned?
I think the most valuable lesson, without trying to sound like trite or cliche, really is that you can do more than what you know you can do, or like you're kind of limitless in terms of potential. Because I mean, really, like Alabama A&M, it's a Division I institution, and while we never were playing for anyone's national championship, I mean, our schedule mirrored that of those that were. And so, I mean, you're practicing twice a day. You've got workouts. You've still got to do your assignments. You've got group work. You've got your regular homework. Just all the things. And then you're trying to hopefully have some things outside of that, and hopefully try and like figure out what's my purpose, what's my whatever. And at first I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna like just manage all of kind of like these moving parts. But I think just over the course of the years, finding out like this is manageable, and I really do have the time to do all the things that I want to do if I actually just take a moment to like dedicate time to do them. So, because it's really easy, honestly, to just be like, oh, I don't have the time, or I don't whatever. But I think like after you get through all the workouts and grueling things that you don't think you can push your body past, then you're like, you know what, this other stuff is breezy. So I think that's what I took away. That, and then also just the importance of going out and meeting people that you don't know, or that might be a little bit uncomfortable for you. Because especially like as an athlete, a lot of times you're put in spaces where you need to either talk to donors or talk to university stakeholders, and you're like, I mean, like, why am I here? I'm hungry, I'm ready to go home, whatever. But you find like as you start getting engaged in their stories, that like you meet all sorts of interesting people, and there were several people that they never would have been able to help me or to add to my life if I hadn't like stretched myself to go and get to know them better. So those are probably the two things.
Okay, that's great. So we'll keep it along the lines of sports since we're right here, and then we'll transition because there's some other things that we would like to know. We'll get to that. So of all the institutions you have either attended or worked at, which is quite a bit, that is not a judgment, because I am at quite a bit myself. So that is not a judgment. That is just me saying I feel you. Which do you pull for the most in sports?
Well, my support ministry is always going to start with whose name is on my check, because I am all about supporting my eating habits and
Smart.
about continuous healthcare. So, number one, definitely, I'm gonna ride with North Carolina all day. I am a native Oklahoman, so I think just by default, my dad growing up was dyed-in-the-wool Oklahoma football fan. Well, really Oklahoma fan, but football he was most passionate about. And so I think just by default, kind of that happened. And my mom also went to Oklahoma for a master's and for law school. So there was that. But yeah, I think it's always going to be where I'm currently working because I get brainwashed immediately. If you're a brand ambassador, you almost kind of have to because you're digging in to find out what makes that institution great. See how I rolled it in there? Just incorporating a little something. But yeah, so UNC and then OU.
Okay. So
I
Mama's
also have a degree from Oklahoma too. I forgot.
Mama's a librarian and an attorney.
No, she found that the law life was not her calling, so she wound up being a librarian, and she also taught children's literature.
Okay, get into
So
it.
while these books are not real, but I did grow up around them.
Okay, get into it, Mama. I love it. As someone who works in sports branding, is there a college or professional organization whose branding you really admire?
I wouldn't say it's just one team, and it actually the one I like the most. Well, I will say this: I like whimsical things, so anything that's just kind of interesting. So, was it Delta State? They are the Fighting Okra. So I like what they've been able to do with that. Also, it's not a college team, but uh, the Huntsville. What are they? The Rocket City Trash Pandas. So they rebranded themselves. So basically raccoons. Raccoon, but like they have done phenomenal business because it's like raccoons in real life. I mean, no judgment, but I don't know that they're as warm and fuzzy as they look when they're depicted in a cartoonish fashion. But I mean, like they have done like record sales once they did that rebranding. So just anything that's kind of whimsical, I enjoy. Stanford's band unofficial mascot, the tree. Like love that. In the backstory behind that, I can go into it if y'all would like. But I think my favorite just tier at all that I look at when in terms of branding and how they support it uh, would be minor league baseball, because I mean when you look at all the promotions that they do and the innovative ways that they're trying to get people out there, how they're able to cultivate a fan base without maybe some of those marquee names that you get in the MLB, like they do a fantastic job, and especially working at so many larger institutions. It's easy sometimes to kind of rest on your laurels because we have a lot of rich people problems. Like generally, we're reasonably resourced and we're reasonably supported, whereas those people are out there putting on a marketing campaign and then pulling out a tarp when it rains. And so a lot of times I study the minor leagues for inspiration.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're going to transition to other topics. May get more sports questions, so we may come back to it. Who knows?
Okay.
We're here till 3. We can do it however we want to. So we have your twin, Brandon, here, and we have Jessica.
Yes.
So, you and your twin, who's the oldest?
I am older by 12 minutes.
Do you hold that over him?
One, it's a given. Like he just knows with my my innate leadership abilities. It just, but no. I do from time to time mention it.
Jessica says you do. Just plain and simple. Don't try to talk around it. You do.
From time to time. From time to time, it's important to just reiterate that I am 12 minutes older. Yes.
Okay. I think Brandon may have something to say.
No, no.
Go for
it. Just 2 questions while we're here. One, with the young lady who you injured in the game in Houston, I would like some follow-up on that. And second, where's the trail mix that was mysteriously displaced from my home last year? And I'll reserve the rest of my time.
Okay. So we need some follow-up on the lady you injured in Houston. And
So,
your brother wants to know, where's this trail mix?
got you. So just to contextualize for the group, so my twin also played in college. He first played at Connors Junior College and then at Howard University. So he played basketball as well. And unfortunately, we never got to see each other play. We always played at the same time. So we never actually got to see each other play in college. With that being stated, my brother is, he is a classic enforcer, or he was when he played. So he was always fouling out, whatever. And so so as we talked about things, he would always try and come back at me because I do have like a bit of a legacy with injuries, but like the injuries that I caused were always inadvertent. And so there potentially was an issue of breakage and a nostril and again, but again, inadvertent, and there was quite a bit of blood. And so that happened. I have technically, and again, this gives me no pleasure, I have unfortunately broken a young lady's leg, but that was like all those things where they were inadvertent just through through the game. And so he holds them over my head like I did them intentionally. That's what he's referencing. But I was always sound and playing within the rules.
Okay, it sounds like the people were scared of you and it had nothing to do with your ponytails. It had nothing to do with your pigtails.
The one thing, what I will say, like this is gonna sound like I'm trying to make excuses, but a lot of times people do not allow even. Feel free to watch. Feel free to watch women's basketball and then watch men's. But a lot of times, the things that they allow for men to do, they won't allow women to do. And so a lot of times, I would get in trouble because in the rule book it states you can have your elbows out and you can pivot. Your elbows just can't be independent of your body. And so there was some back and forth with referees from time to time over just kind of like delineating that rule. But yeah. So anyway, I played clean. I was a good clean player.
Okay.
It was unnecessary, but yeah.
Now, where's your brother's trail mix?
I can't speak to that. I think there was a miscommunication. So my brother and his lovely wife and 2 children have a palatial estate that I sometimes go and visit with a lovely pantry. And I can't really speak to what the inventory was or was not. My brother, along with my parents, I have many times surmised that when things go missing from their pantry, if it happened to coincide when I was there, that I perhaps transitioned it out, and there's just been no proof. And so I really can't speak to something I don't know about.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The language got all legal there.
Yeah,
there's no proof.
I
can't speak to what may or may not have been transitioned.
It turned into not to my recollection. I don't recall anything of trail mix. There may have been some peanuts, but
no one could say.
Okay. Let's see. We have another question that came in. Can you share some of your favorite catchy brand slogans and taglines?
Catchy brand slogans or taglines. I'm trying to think of some that are appropriate for a work Zoom. I don't know about catchy brands. I will say most recently, it happened last year. One of my favorite promotions, though, was the Tinder promotion that the Atlanta Hawks did. It was so successful, they did a second one. So that was pretty good. I think Poopery does some really cool commercials. There's another one that I'm blanking on. But yeah, a lot of the ones I like are a little bit more on the risque side, but usually I take how they're able to make it more palatable to the masses, and then I'll try and incorporate it into things that I do for work.
Okay. Oh, we have a question for Mama Terry.
No, Lord.
Hey, I'm just saying, I just read the questions. The people want to know. What was the biggest challenge with raising fraternal twins?
I'm supposed to answer that?
No,
Oh,
they're asking your mother.
Gotcha.
I told them at the beginning, they gotta be camera ready. Because the questions are coming. And your mom was like, I'm not answering nothing. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm surprised that she even made her way to Zoom. Like,
Right,
she's.
I'll move on to the, okay, so with trademark and licensing.
But I think I'll at least say this though. Like I can't speak for my parents in that way, but one of the things that my parents did tell us often is one of the things they learned is treating us equally did not mean treating us the same, and I would agree with that. So there's probably some other lesson, but yeah, they said that all the
time. That I think they've been hanging out with my dad. That is like his catchphrase. Because you could never go to him and say, well, you let, and then it's just like, no, out of my face. Yeah. So with trademark and licensing, what do you like about trademark and licensing, and what do you dislike?
All right, logo cap questions, awesome. So the overarching purpose of the Office of Trademarks and Licensing, or UNC licensing, is to promote, protect, preserve, and seek to profit from the marks, 4 Ps. So I would say what I like least is the legalistic lens. I know Drew just got on me for my language earlier, but it's necessary. The protection and the preservation is necessary to make sure, I can't come into work and be like, you know what, I'm sorry, y'all. We actually lost the federal registration on University of North Carolina, which is one of the trademarks, like University, the name of the school is a trademark. We're getting fired. And, like that's happening just outright. So those things are important, but they're time consuming. It's uncomfortable and not fun to send your cousins who are bootlegging cease and desist letters or tell Nana like that Afghan is amazing. We're gonna have to shut this whole operation down. Those things are uncomfortable, but we're not unfeeling people, but they're necessary because anyone who knows anything about trademark law, if you don't protect your trademarks, you will lose them. You lose the ability to protect them in the court of law. So it's necessary but not fun. What I really like is the promotion and the profitability part. So anyway, as Jerry Maguire and Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, whatever that was, the show me the money, that's all me. How we can monetize things, how we can blow it up. I'm like, let's get a laser balloon, a camel, like all of the things, and let's figure out like how we can make something that's gonna be a wow factor and profitable. And then my boss drills it down and says like, how can we do this and not have the fire marshal come out and see us. So I think like coming up with the ideas, coming up with the things that we do in the pit and on campus and the different retail promotions in the bookstore, those are some of the things I like the most. And then also some of the best ideas that I have is as much as I think I'm able to dream and come up with stuff have actually come from other people on campus, which kind of dovetails into the other part that I like about licensing is it really does require relationships, because almost anything that someone's doing on campus, you can tie it back into licensing in some capacity. So the more I go out and meet people and learn about them and tell them to quit doing stuff that's infringing, but the more we get out there and meet people, the more we uncover stuff. And then we're like, hey, can we partner with you? Can we do this thing? And next thing you know, we're hiring a dog blogger, Holden the Golden. He's got 50K on Insta. We've also hired out Remington, or Home Run Remington, also a dog, 20K on Insta, to like do promotions. So that's what I like most about my job.
Okay. Well, we have a very specific question. And it says, so, literally saying so just like that. I'm painting rocks for fun, a hobby. If I put UNC on the rock, will you come looking for me? They're not selling the rocks yet. And did not use a logo. They just are asking about UNC.
I'm coming to see you, Benina. See, I'm shutting that whole operation down. No, the way that in and of itself is fine. And that's the thing, like if it's non-commercial utilization, if you have the ability, I'm a painter and I made this and I gave it to someone, I'm a baker, I made this and I gave it to someone, those things are non-commercial usage. And we're happy to see it. It's only when, again, you seek to start monetizing the marks that there might be some additional conversations.
Okay.
But yeah, but we'd love to see the racks. They're fantastic.
And Brandon says you're throwing out a whole bunch of SAT words.
What's exciting is I believe we all are college educated here, so we all should know them.
Oh. So how did you get into trademark and licensing?
I was initially exposed to it at the NFLPA. Candidly, there was someone who worked close to me who hated her job. And so she spent a lot of time doing online shopping and was just like, hey, if you'd like to help me out with this. And at the time I was an intern. And so I was trying to do whatever. And so in addition to my job in communications, I would help her do enforcement and help her do other facets of licensing. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then at the NCAA, I worked in corporate and broadcast alliances. The silent partner in there is licensing. And so we were tasked with approving marks for all of the 88 championships at the time. And so that gave me a little bit more exposure to it. And I was like, yeah, not really my speed, because we were more so just approving artwork. But by the time I got to OU, that's when I was able to oversee the marketing funds and start creating programs for students. Like we did a grant program for student groups where they could come and get up to $5,000 for different things. So yeah, that's when I got more of a comprehensive understanding of licensing at the University of Oklahoma.
Okay. So you mentioned shopping in there. You weren't doing the shopping. The lady who hated her job was doing the shopping.
Yes. No, I was trying to finesse a full-time job at the time. So there was no time for that.
But are you a shopper?
I am. And what's great, again, because licensing is so vast, I'm always telling my boss, hey, just out here doing this market research. She's like, it just looks like you're at the mall. Like, potatoes. I gotta be out here with the people.
So online or in person, where's your favorite place to shop?
Well, I am 6 feet tall with a size 12 to 13 shoe, depending on who's making it. And so I love shopping in person. A Nordstrom Rack is usually one of my initial go-tos. Also like Anthropologie, but as a state employee, I can only like Anthropologie on the sale of a sale ministry. So those would be two of the big ones. Also, I like Onion, which also is Black female owned, if anyone's interested. And it's a cut and sew operation online where she largely does like maxi dresses and stuff, but it's made to order and it's relatively inexpensive for that type of product. So yeah, those are probably some of the big ones. And Nike, love all sorts of Nike products. So yeah, in store and online. I think those are probably the big ones.
Okay, we have another licensing question. So I guess people are going to use some of this time to figure out. I've got a beef 3 years ago. It was disapproved. Well, just so everyone who's watching knows, Shelly came prepared. She's like, I have a PowerPoint that I can show. Just to let people know, this is what we do, because when people hate you, you need to come prepared. Well, we personally do not hate you. We love you, Shelly. So if a student org promotes UNC letters only on attire versus the student org name, do they need to seek approval from your office? I know this answer, but I'm gonna let you answer.
They would, and I would say first to like kind of reflect that question back, I would say a lot of times I think why it's hard to kind of comprehend for some, like what we do is as a university and as a state university that's so entrenched in the hearts and minds of people in this state and in the contiguous states and all across the nation. It doesn't feel like you're doing anything wrong anytime you put the letters on it. You're like, I'm just trying to promote, or like, I'm invested, I work here, I'm a student here, I'm just trying to support. But substitute out those letters and put your face on it. Like, let me see, who asked the question?
That was Wayne.
That was Wayne. Okay, so Wayne, so substitute the letters and put your name on it. If a student group just said, we love Wayne, like we're putting his face on the shirt, and you just are cross campus. You're like, I didn't approve. What is this for? You're not getting money for it, and you didn't have an opportunity to approve it. You don't know why they're trying to promote your face. Like all of that, like it doesn't mean that they're necessarily in a meaningful way trying to do something wrong, but like they didn't necessarily seek to get the appropriate approval. So in short, yeah, like those are things that we would need to approve, because technically while they are students at this university, they don't speak for it. Like they're not able to act on behalf of the university. And so they also can't go out and reproduce things with the university's likeness without permission, theoretically. So yeah.
Oh, so Jessica has a question.
Mhm.
Are there any plans to adapt UNC's mascot to promote mask wearing? Also, have you gotten many licensing requests from mask makers and sellers?
We haven't even, like we've had well over 50, I think. We do have an official list of those that are approved. FYI, if y'all are interested in producing any, like you're able to use anyone from the list before. Imprint is gonna be the most friendly for student groups and departments, but we have everyone from Hanes, Logo Brand, Outer Stuff for Kids. Like, so we have quite a few, like a lot of companies that you haven't heard of, but make millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, so we made a list because we wanted to make sure that they will be of sound quality. Also with that, there are some insurance considerations that you don't necessarily think about, but need to be in place in the event that that someone sues them, and there is a likelihood that that could happen. So we're still getting more mask requests, but and all those things go through Derek, my supervisor, to vet. But at this time, we're not looking to really acquire any more, but we do have some that are approved. Okay. There was a mask question. Oh, and then the thank you, Jessica. Then also there was the question about Ramesses, and so there's a lot of times there's a desire to modify federally registered marks again, because it's like it's just this one thing. I'm just being creative, whatever. But take that and exponentially multiply it times all the student groups and departments that have just that one exception that they want to do. And so for us to be able to protect the marks, it's important that they stay the same. And that's at the advice of our legal counsel and also outside counsel. And so if there is a desire for any of the groups that you work with to do something where the mascot is wearing a mask, we can discuss possibly doing like a depiction of a ram that's not the mascot. So there might be opportunities, but depending on what it is, kind of even to go back to Wayne's question, when people are like, I just want to do this, this, and this with the mascot, what does that have to do with your actual group? And the whole purpose of departments and student groups being able to produce things theoretically should be for the promotional purposes of their respective student groups and organizations. So like, yeah, that's a really cool Ramesses design, but how do people know about your organization? You haven't really promoted it. So yeah, so there is some area in which to play there, but no, do not modify the actual mascots.
All right, so Ramesses has to stay the same.
That's right.
So what is one of your best infringement stories? Like, I know it's with everywhere that you work, what is one of your best infringement stories? One that was like, oh, you can't do that, but that was really good.
Oh, got you. I thought when you said best, I was like, this one I almost ended in an altercation.
Or that one would work as
Yes.
well.
Well, and for the record, I was not in the altercation. I learned a long time ago. That's what the police are for. So I'll say two. One, when I worked at the University of Oklahoma, this is all public knowledge if you were to research it. So I'm not putting anyone's business out there, but someone who worked at the office previously, as well as someone who worked at the Oklahoma State office previously, had heard about this large kind of crafter show. I think a Fair of the Heart is what it's called. And it might travel around, so it might come to North Carolina, but they decided they were gonna go down there and Bonnie and Clyde it up and just start like taking people's stuff. Like, so like the equivalent of a citizen's arrest. They were just like taking people's stuff and putting it in trash bags and like, you're done, we're shutting you down. When you do things like that as a private citizen, it's called stealing. Like, even if you work for a trademark licensing office. And so short of, luckily they did not get arrested. They were asked to leave the premises, and it took us many, many years for our office to even be allowed to come back on onto the property for that event. But that was just something, I mean, it made, well, not national news, but it did make the newspapers and the news, and it was not amazing. So that was just one that was interesting. Also, I was at a licensing event, and a part of the event we went to a game at the University of Tennessee, and I won't say which licensing director it was, but it was a licensing director that did not work for the University of Tennessee. But as we're walking by, we saw a gentleman who was selling infringing product, and this licensing director just decided he was just going to take it upon himself to confront said individual. We encouraged him not to do so, and he got the paws put on him, as they say colloquially. So like, yeah, it didn't end well. So yeah. So I would encourage, if you see something, say something to the police, to the authorities. Do not engage.
Okay, so Benita asked, do you meet with student groups / advisors to let them know what they can and can't promote? If not, how would they know to reach out to trademark concerns?
Sure, we definitely try to. We've worked with Tammy, and she's added some pieces to, I guess, like some online curriculum that you have. We always, I mean, like, we're always that person that's like, can we come too? Can we get, like, you got 5 minutes for us to get on there? So like, we're always more than happy to meet with groups. But that, I think, is the only kind of blanket way that we're able to get out to students. If you know of some other ways to reach registered student organizations, please do let us know. We've been working on a pamphlet for a while, just to have like a one-sheeter to hand out, and we got some resources on our page. But to your point, they would have to know that we even existed as a thing to come and find our website. So that's how we get out to student groups overall. And then as they have questions, a lot of times they'll find us or be directed to us.
Okay. I just want to say, I love your brother. He is my new favorite person.
Do not tell him that. Like,
you just heard it.
Oh my goodness.
Tell us an interesting story about about your time working as a Goodwill supervisor.
Like after college, my path wasn't super linear. I didn't have as firm of a plan on what I wanted to do after undergrad. So basically, I worked at a secondhand retail boutique, aka Goodwill, in the thrift store, and so I was not a supervisor. But I will tell you honestly, it was. Interestingly enough, my actual supervisor used to be the manager for Bloomingdale's in Times Square. So we had the most like regimented workforce in the world. And she would always say, because we were kind of like, it's just Goodwill, you know. I'm Southwest, not Expressway, but Southwest Road Boulevard. And she was like, you know, but our customers are expecting this, and this. And so like her level of what she expected from us in terms of like how we set up the store really impacted a lot of the ways that I look at retail and the way I do my job. now. But yeah, there's no real story to tell. I think he just wanted me to share it because I skipped over it in my background.
I don't know. He may say there's more to it. I don't know. We'll
there,
see.
There really is not.
Okay. So back to infringement. What has been one of the most creative ways that you have seen people take a logo or trademark and use it when they shouldn't have, but you at the same time you have to give credit to their genius?
Let's see. I know that there was again another anthropomorphic ram that was on a pole of an exotic dancer, if you will, and they had like an ensemble on, and the bottom said network, and it had our logo on it. It was for a networking event. It was disapproved, but highly creative.
Oh, I love it.
So they actually did submit it for approval. It wasn't something you just saw. Oh, wow.
And I think and it was for like a professional thing. Like it wasn't like, oh, and this is gonna be for a party. It was for a professional event. And I like, to me, like I was so surprised by it because it's one of those where you're like, and then you just say no. What I will say, to just expand on like some of the things we do in our office, probably about 80 to 90% of the artwork approvals we get actually come from retail. So the Nikes of the world and the different things you see in stores. But I would say a gross majority of the time we spend in person and on the phone is with like Professor Klonsky, who's made a new logo with a student group that's going to revolutionize how retail is done. We spend most of our time coaching through that. And so like, while that was a really enjoyable design that I got quite a few laughs out of, it probably required to get to a place where the student group would actually like not move forward with it. I think it took, like, if you add everything together, probably like, I don't know, 30 actual office hours. Not all together, but in total, it was just kind of an ongoing, like, we'd like to revisit the ram on a pole.
Still no. Answer still no.
Yeah, so that was probably the most creative one that I've seen.
Oh, well. Yeah, okay. Well, we are near at the end of our hour, which, let me say, has been amazing. This has been like one of the best ones.
Way better than Bubba.
Yeah. Okay, so we've only done 3. You are in first place right now. You are in first place.
For now.
Like, well, granted, you are the only one that requested to bring an ensemble.
An entourage, yeah.
Yeah, so, it's like, okay. And you're the only one that prepared a PowerPoint slide.
Just in case, but at another point in time, if you'd actually like to hear more about licensing, how much money we make, where it goes, different things, 100% of our net revenue does go to needed merit-based scholarships.
Okay. Okay, so we have one last question.
No, you can just skip over it. It's just from Brandon. I saw it. Let's move along.
So we're not going to ask you where you got your Miss Hornet coronation dress and heels?
In short, so we have, it's somewhere, we actually have the equivalent of a homecoming queen at our high school, Miss Football, but I'm Miss Hornet, so it's kind of like the equivalent to like a Miss UNC or whatever. Here, that's what I was. I got voted on it for our high school, but I'm, in my spare time, I kind of dress like a 70s, I don't know, disco dancer. Like, I like polyester double knit, I like psychedelic prints and just all that good stuff. And so that started in high school. So I was just a really weird dresser. And so Miss Hornet is a very kind of sacred formal thing. And so basically they had the administration and some of the teachers had an intervention with me because they thought like I was going to do something weird. So it's not really a thing. And I don't know that anyone cared on this call, but there you go.
And I'm assuming Jessica held the umbrella for you in the rain? Or was that someone else?
Again, these are not questions that anyone cares about on a larger scale.
This is what happens when you bring your entourage.
That is true.
An
That is
entourage
true.
that knows a whole lot about you.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, so we're at 3 o'clock. Shelly, thank you so much for doing this. It has been fun. Any parting words for our people?
The only parting words I'll say, one, thank you so much, Keith, for like allowing me to come on. Y'all have been super enjoyable. Thank you for taking an hour out of your life to learn a little bit more about me. If you'd like to learn any more about licensing, or if you just have a really cool idea that y'all don't have the budget for and you'd like to figure out how to get it done, we are super opportunistic, but we are quid pro quo. We are not altruistic. We want to do good, and we want to help. We want to help you execute your vision. We're just going to need to figure out how we can make money from it. So feel free if you have any ideas to come our way, or if you want us to talk to anyone, we'd be more than happy to.
All right. So that's it for Ask Me Anything number 3. Thank you all for joining. Look for the next one. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be. In my mind, it's going to be in August. But who really knows what August is going to look like? So, all right. Thank you all for coming.
Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, Mama.
Bye.
Bye, Terry's.